Hi everyone, this is Mr Neel Raithatha, also known as the Wax Whisperer. Thank you for joining me in my latest video. This is of a patient who attended today and they travelled from Liverpool. Liverpool is in the northwest region of England, and it's approximately 2.5 hour drive, I'd say, or maybe 3 hours each way. And they found me via my YouTube channel. The patient's wife and daughter are both fans. The patient's wife attended with the patient today. The daughter wanted to come, but unfortunately felt ill this morning, so wasn't able to attend. And just to give you a case history, the patient has been suffering from long-standing reduced hearing in both ears and also tinnitus. So for anyone who doesn't know what tinnitus is a sound that originates within the ear or inside the head. In other words, it's not an external sound that you're hearing, it's an internal sound that's you're hearing, which is typically people experience it inside their ear, but sometimes people can hear it inside their head and they've reported it to be externalized. So they know it's inside their head, but they feel it's in the environment. And they were advised that they had earwax, I think about 15 years ago, and they underwent ear irrigation at the time, which was unsuccessful, and they reported that the irrigation actually exacerbated the tinnitus. The patient's hearing has obviously deteriorated since. They are a motorcyclist, so they are exposed to loud sounds, and so they've got to be careful if you're a motorcyclist. You can get your helmets with adequate inbuilt ear protection, or you can buy external ear protection that's not inbuilt with the helmet, and you can wear the helmet over that. So it's very important that anyone who's exposed to loud sounds, whether it's through work or recreational activities, or obviously if you're a motorcyclist as well, that you do protect your ears, because over time, even if the sound is not excessively loud, but even a moderately loud sound over a prolonged period of time can start affecting your hearing, and it can also lead to tinnitus. So initially, I wanted to remove as much wax as possible without using suction. Any method of earwax removal can really exacerbate patients' tinnitus, especially irrigation. That's one of the so when you're using water, so syringing or irrigation, it is a risk factor. Now, it's not to say that you can't develop it with microsuction, but you're far less likely to. Perhaps the most risk-free way is removing wax with an ear hook or Jobson horn or forceps. So what we call dry mechanical removal of earwax, and it does require a lot more skill to do that, and it's not always possible. So with this patient, the ear was so narrow laterally near the entrance that you may have seen that I just about managed to insert the ear hook and Jobson horn, but I successfully managed to remove the lateral wax. Now, the medial wax was just too far in. I wasn't able to, I could get the instrument in, but you couldn't manipulate it that deep in the ear. And when you're that deep in the ear, you're more at risk of touching the canal walls, which can make it uncomfortable for the patient, because whereas the outer third of the ear canal is made up of cartilage, the inner 2/3 are made up of bone, and the bony part of the ear canal is really, really sensitive, and you want to avoid contact with that wherever possible. So I then had to revert to microsuction, and you can see here I'm using the fine end, and it was very quiet for the patient. And we can see the eardrum. The eardrum is visible, so sounds can get through, but you may notice that this patient's got a layer of dead skin that's lining the medial canal wall, so the ear canal away from the entrance towards the eardrum. We call that the medial aspect, and it's also lining the eardrum. Now, already the patient reported hearing to significantly improved, but this debris you wouldn't be able to remove with an ear hook or Jobson horn or even forceps. You have no option but to resort to suction, and we're using the fine end. So the fine end is a less powerful suction probe, and it's very good with skin. When you suction dead skin using a standard Zollner suction probe, you can develop what we call clarinetting. Clarinetting is when the skin violently flaps at the tip of the sucker, and that flapping emits a very loud, high-frequency squeal. It's not only loud for the patient, but also for myself performing the procedure. A fine end helps to combat the clarinetting, And it's essentially an extension. So you've got the Zollner suction probe, and this is an attachment, and it's a friction fit. So we push it at the tip of the Zollner suction probe, and it grips into place, and it's quite sturdy. I think possibly only once has it ever partially come loose, and I noticed it was coming loose, and I removed it from the ear and reattached it. So this final bit of skin, it's a bit tricky to remove, and it's more difficult because although this part of the ear canal is a bit wider, and the fine end obviously it's not taking up much space, but the fine end has to travel through the narrow aperture of the ear canal, which means although I can set the instrument in, there's not much room for manoeuvrability, and you may not be able to see that here. It's just because the suckers, you've got to remember the sucker's going from the entrance of the ear to the medial aspect, and it's that narrowing that's restricting the manoeuvrability. So I was a bit restricted in that sense, but I was targeting this back part of the eardrum initially because you can see it's already beginning to peel away, and this skin extends from the roof. Every time I was peeling it away, although I did detach a lot of it from the canal wall, a lot of the skin just flapped back into position, and I was explaining it to the patients when they were here. It's almost like a trap door. You peel the skin away, and it's just going back into position, and which makes it difficult to remove, because one of the other ways I could remove this is if I bring that skin a bit more into the centre of the ear canal, just say it remained in that position there, and it hasn't, obviously, it's flat back. I can then use forceps to grip onto it, but the forceps are too close to the canal wall. However, I in a moment, because I'd felt I wasn't getting too far with this current technique, you will see it in a moment, I actually did go in with the forceps, and there was a tiniest part of the skin that was protruding at the bottom of the ear canal, and I was able to get access to the bottom of the ear canal with the forceps, even with the narrowing of the ear canal. And I managed to pinch onto the bit of skin, but it didn't pull the whole segment of skin away. Instead, it just shredded it and teared away a piece of skin. So I was back to square one, and I think you'll see it in a moment. I think I'll just put some more oil in. You can see the skin, it's like an extra membrane of the eardrum. Now, the eardrum is made up of three membranes. The outer membrane, which is facing us, is made up of the same skin that lines the ear canal. And that skin, like the rest of the ear canal, as it dies, it sheds, and it should, in the majority of us, migrate sideways like a conveyor belt. It moves away from the eardrum. The best way to describe it is if you're standing in front of a pond, and you get yourself a stone or pebble and you drop it into the centre of the pond, you'll have the ripple effects. Imagine those ripples being the dead skin on the eardrum. So the dead skin from the centre of the eardrum, we call that the umbo region, as it dies and sheds, it moves sideways, similar to how ripples form in a pond. And then this skin, it comes off the eardrum around the perimeter and then slowly makes its way towards the entrance of the ear canal. And the rate of migration is between 1.5 millimetres and 3 millimetres a month. And you can compare it to the growth of our fingernails. It migrates at a similar rate as our fingernails grow. You can see I've just bent the tip of the fine end, and what that helps me to do is just gently position the side of the fine end against the canal wall so there's no sharp edges. And then I can try and peel it away. So that's another new technique that I used to always bend the tube towards the front part of the ear canal, but I've realised sometimes if I just place it against the side of the ear canal, it works quite well. So this is this tiniest piece of skin. I've got to avoid touching that canal wall to the right hand side. You can see I was really, really close. There's not much room there. And although I managed to insert the forceps and I managed to actually pinch onto that bit of dry skin, upon extracting the forceps, the skin just turned away, unfortunately. So I was back to square one. So again, I'm just targeting the back part of the ear canal because I can see it's coming away. But in the end, I actually went towards the centre of the eardrum, and I managed to, although it's still attached, I managed to remove some of the skin centrally, which then released the rest of the skin. So the middle membrane of the eardrum is made up of fibrous tissue, That's what gives the eardrum its rigidity. And the innermost membrane of the eardrum, which is obviously not visible to us, that's the mucosa, that's the same skin that lines the middle portion of the ear canal, the middle ear cavity. And that skin is similar to the skin that lines the back of our nose. So this outermost skin of the eardrum is constantly shedding, and it's being replaced by new skin, but this skin has failed to migrate. It's remained on the eardrum, so this patient's eardrum has become a lot thicker, and therefore the eardrum doesn't vibrate as much, it doesn't transmit sound waves through the middle ear via the ossicles, the three bones, to the cochlea, the organ of hearing. So it causes what we call a conductive hearing loss. And you can see I'm just trying to get to the bottom, to the middle. I've got to be careful I don't poke the fine end too deep, because we don't want to rupture this patient's eardrum. You just got to kiss the surface, and you've got to let the suction do the job. And you can see there I've got a suction grip. I don't want to let go of that, and I'm pulling away. I was putting quite a lot of force there, and finally but surely managed to remove it off the patient's eardrum. Getting it through the narrowing is a different matter, as you can see. So again, through the eardrum, that's the patient's eardrum. So it's intact, slightly opaque, but otherwise it looks fine. It's a bit of non-significant keratin there. We'll just leave that there. It'd be very difficult to remove that and quite uncomfortable. It's not going to improve the patient's symptoms at all. This, because it's on the back part canal wall, it's more accessible, it's mid-canal, so I just went in to peel this away. And what was great is as soon as I cleaned the patient's left ear, not only did they report their hearing to drastically improve, but they reported their tinnitus to have been cured on this side. Now, I did give realistic expectations, but at the appointment itself, the tinnitus in the left ear was completely eradicated. So then we move on to the patient's right ear, which you'll see in a moment. So there's just a bit of skin there, front part of the ear canal. I'm just going to graze that away. So this is their right ear. As soon as I went into the right ear, you can see there's a lot of misting, a lot of fogging, a lot of condensation. So this ear was quite humid. But in a moment, with an endoscope, if you just let the heat dissipate, you can see it's demist itself. And we've got a clear view. So I'm using the hook. I'm trying to rotate it there. You just had a bit of wax stuck to the hook. So I've just come back out, wipe that away. But then I thought it'd probably be better if I use forceps. So I'm gliding the bottom jaw, the front part of the ear canal, on the cartilage portion. And I'm just trying to grip this wax. It's a bit softer than the other side. And as a result, it's not coming away. It's cutting into it, shredding it. So I'm going to just try once more. I'm just going a bit higher up where it might be a bit drier. Now, although I didn't manage to remove this wax plug using the forceps, I managed to maneuver it in such a way where I can then glide it. You can see there's an opening now for the ear hook to the front part of the ear canal, which is always a bit easier than going to the back part of the ear canal. You have more control. Again, a bit of misting, a bit of fogging. That's going to clear up, as you can see. At this stage, I'm going to go in with the ear hook. I'm going to go to the front. It's not much room to work with here, just really deep. So we're probably about 0.5 centimetre away from the eardrum there. So the ear canal is roughly 2.5 centimetres in length. So we really inserted that hook really deep. And as I'm coming away out of the ear, I have to account for the curvature of the ear. The ear canal is not straight, and you can see it's very narrow at the entrance. So as I was coming away with the hook, I had to meander around the bends, otherwise the hook will make contact with the canal wall and be uncomfortable and cut into the patient's ear, which we don't want. So that's the eardrum. It's a bit of fogging there still, so the ear is quite humid inside. But you may notice at the top there's a slight retraction pocket. Now, when we cleared the right ear, and actually to the back part of the eardrum, it's retracted there. So they've got negative middle ear pressure here. And the patient did report having sinus problems. They take prescribed nasal decongestants nightly. So their right Eustachian tube, which is a tube that connects the middle ear to the back of the nose, has become blocked. That creates negative pressure behind the eardrum. There's no air, so the eardrum gets sucked in. And the patient reports the hearing to be dramatically better, and also the tinnitus to significantly improve, but it was still there on the right side somewhat. So recommended the O2 Vent nasal balloon, which is a non-surgical device to help unblock and equalize the middle ear pressure. If they're still symptomatic, in a fortnight's time, after using the O2 Vent nasal balloon and their nightly prescribed decongestants, they're going to contact us so we can make onwards referral to ENT. I hope you enjoyed that video, guys. Take care. Speak soon. Bye.